Ah yes, the Dreadfleet campaign.
Ridiculous.
Search for the wreck of the Vengeance, Seize of the Dragon Spire, the Star Metal Harpoon. Required to achieve campaign victory, so this thing is essential, like I need this. It's super important. It's not there. It should be right here. I already got the 3 shanties, I constructed the overpriced harpoon launcher, but I can't do the final battle without the harpoon.
I feel ridiculous.
Welcome back to the IroncladLion channel. I wasn't planning on making a Dreadfleet campaign review. I'm still not, but let's just say something happened. So here we are. We're gonna talk about the campaign, but only briefly, because we have other, more important things to discuss. Mini campaign review, let's do it. You are Count Noculus, leader of the Dreadfleet. You sail around, you raid some ports, you gain infamy. You know, you're gonna get that pirate swagger. You need this harpoon to go kill this beast, right? Then you need a harpoon launcher, and then you need these sea shanties so you can power it up. And then you've got the galleon graveyard, which is a bunch of rocks out in like the middle of the ocean. Pretty exciting, right? Well, yeah, see, that's what I thought. But it turns out that there is something horrible that can happen. Something very specific to this campaign. This was my first time ever playing Vampire Coast, so naturally, I had no idea what I was doing. Here's the story. When you start the campaign, you immediately get the mission to invade Val's Anvil, and you start out at war with Calidor. You also get the mission to search for the wreck of the Vengeance. Now notice that these are just missions. If you are not aware, there are missions and there are quests. Quests are your big, important, cinematic storyline things to do. Missions, on the other hand, are almost always optional. Well, not in this campaign. But you see, I didn't actually read this important text when I began the campaign that this harpoon was essential. All that turn 1 footage, I recorded that later. Also, there's no time limit to this mission, so I can do this whenever I feel like, right? So I thought, I'll go build up my fleet, then come back to that mission. Who knows how strong that fleet is? I didn't want to risk it. I told myself I'd deal with it later. And thanks to my absolutely massive brain, I forgot about the mission entirely. Let's fast forward a small amount of time. Say, 100 turns? My second captain, Burke Black, is on his way north to hunt down a piece of 8. Count Noctilus, meanwhile, is plundering the coast of the Southlands. All is well in the world. What could possibly go wrong? Turn 120. I've hired a third captain, Two Toes Adley. Her and Count Noculus were going to have a romantic getaway in Lustria, plundering some booty. And Burke Black goes for another lap around the donut. We were number 3 on the infamy list and almost had our 3rd shanty. Turn 140. Two Toes and Noctilus headed back to pick up the harpoon after plundering several Lustrian ports. But the fleet wasn't there. How could this be? I thought that boat was never supposed to move. I'd seen it there for many turns. Where did it go? I had all the other pieces I needed. I had the shanties. I had the launcher. But wait, I hadn't done the moon dial quest. That's it. I just needed to send Noctilus to get the moon dial, and then everything would be back to normal. Those mortal humans would feel the wrath of the Dreadfleet. How dare they deny me? It's still not there. It was over. 2 weeks of my time wasted. My Dreadfleet campaign ruined. Insurmountable horror. Where did I go wrong? How will I ever recover? I'm going to uninstall. If only I hadn't played on Legendary. Oh no, 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 no. Wait, I'm playing on very hard. I'll just reload an old save. Praise Sigmar. I had to go back many turns to a point where I remember seeing the fleet still in the water. I spent many more hours replaying my previous turns and also watching each and every turn the AI took, which I usually don't. It was all looking pretty normal until it was you! My ally, the Boner Brains, decided they were going to do me a favor and sink the fleet holding the harpoon, forever condemning my campaign to the Chaos Realm. The solution? So we reversed time a bit, dropped whatever we were doing, and sailed to the wreck of the Vengeance as fast as we could. We sank the fleet, got the harpoon, and everything was better. What do I think about the Dreadfleet campaign, or Vampire Coast for that matter? This was a Vortex campaign, so keep that in mind. Their campaign? I didn't really like it. You might be able to guess why. That being said, the Dreadfleet in battle, amazing. Lots of fun. The emphasis on gunpowder-based combat was really nice and certainly felt different from other races, and their roster still has a number of useful monster units for varied armied setups. It did feel rather strange to not be a major power on the campaign map. I started with the Galleon's Graveyard as my only settlement and ended the campaign with the Galleon's Graveyard as my only settlement. You raid ports, establish pirate coves, and I was never able to hold a single land settlement no matter how hard I tried. And I really did try. So colonization and painting the map is certainly not what you do with this race. That makes complete sense thematically, but I had a hard time adjusting to the playstyle. The other major factions considered me an annoyance, but never made a significant attempt to hunt me down, so I was mostly free to sail around as I wished, sacking port settlements and collecting treasure, the pirate's life. Some people might really love this playstyle, but I found it somewhat lonely to not be involved on the world map. What made up for the many lonely turns of sailing around the world was the fierce battles. Challenging the elite pirate fleets and bringing my full arsenal to bear upon thy enemy was something to behold. The quest battles were lovely. The final battle for this campaign was the best final battle I've experienced for any campaign, and despite the painful path to get there, was worth the extra effort and hours I had to put in. No major spoilers, but it's really enjoyable. As for the harpoon scandal, I'm not mad. It was frustrating, yes. I don't like having to redo many hours of a campaign. I don't think anyone does. Now, if I actually was playing on Legendary and couldn't reload an old save, then I'd be mad. Very mad. But it does make me wonder, why would an essential mission be tied to a real fleet floating in the ocean that AI can attack? If that can happen, why wouldn't there be a trigger to restore the mission somewhere else? There's a reason why quest battles don't happen on the campaign map, so the AI couldn't possibly fuck with them. It makes me think that mission should have a time limit on it, so it forces the player to get the harpoon quickly, since that seems to be the intended order of the objectives. Do you know what I am saying? I'll put down the logic bat for a bit and take a step back. The player is supposed to get the harpoon early in the campaign, maybe even before turn 100. I realize I'm the weird one in this scenario. I'm like that one penguin. I managed to break the game when 10,000 other players probably did the Dreadfleet campaign without any problem. Technically, I could have won a domination victory, so I still could have won if I had been playing on Legendary. That probably would have taken 300 or so turns and way longer than just starting the campaign over again. It's a lose-lose sort of scenario. I tried searching for this problem on the internets, but couldn't find anything. I'm not even sure if this counts as a bug or if it's a feature. All the reported bugs I found were from 3 years ago when the DLC came out. Almost all of them have been fixed. It's 2020 now. Total Warhammer 3 comes out in a month. Hell of a time to be breaking new ground. Why am I like this? To everyone thinking about playing the Dreadfleet campaign, I was a big dummy and broke the game. Don't do what I did. If you play Dreadfleet, go get the harpoon. Don't wait till turn 140. I tested it, and you can get the harpoon by turn 6 if you rush it. Just do it. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. It means a lot to have the support of the gaming community and appreciate the awesome love you all send my way. I've got a lot more Total Warhammer 2 videos planned, with new videos every Monday. This game is awesome, even when I manage to ruin one of my campaigns. Thanks so much for watching. I'm IroncladLion, and I'll see you in the next video.